credits of up to $2,600 when you choose a qualifying Carrier heating and cooling system. Turn to the experts at Carrier and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Carrier, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Find your local dealer at carriermilwaukee.com.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey. Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Brewers fans, with Us Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the ball, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Brewers fans. That means at game time, you should do less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to Us Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Brew Crew with your crew. US Cellular, built for us.
Dear baseball fans, swing into action with Toyota's 2025 lineup. Leading off, the RAV4, a utility all-star that delivers in the clutch. On deck, the spacious Grand Highlander, followed by the fuel-savvy Corolla. Next up, our slugger Tacoma, bringing upper deck power every at-bat. And rounding out the lineup, the playmaking all-hybrid Camry. For more, visit Toyota.com or your local dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Get up! Get out of here and go!
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Okay, exhale, finally. Series winner. Brewers get the job done. They'll go for a sweep tomorrow against the White Sox, 6-4. The final score tonight on the South Side. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Jerry Augustine will be with us as well. Brewers get a win. Exhale. There were some performances today that you really want to put away and maybe even lead to an off day tomorrow, but there were some moments that made you happy, made you smile, so we'll talk about what went right and wrong for the Brewers in this one, specifically on the pitching side. What's going on with Bryce Terang? What's going on with the offense? But let's get you caught up on the game itself with our highlight recap.
Ready for this? This?
One of the catches of the year!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
Former Brewers farmhand Shane Smith got the ball for the White Sox. He was acquired in the Rule 5 draft this past offseason against Tobias Myers in his second start with the big league club this year. The Brewers gave him a hot start, a leadoff double from Isaac Collins, who was a late entry in the lineup for a ill Bryce Terang. He was out of the game for the entirety of the contest. With Collins on third and 2 outs, William Contreras took the humble approach to extend his hitting streak.
Cash in. The pitch, a ground ball through the right side and into right field for a base hit. Collins will score. Contreras with an RBI single. Make it a 9-game hitting streak now for Contreras. And the Brewers on the board. It's 1-0 Crew.
Lane Grindle's call here on WTMJ. Frelick would then hit a double to center on a ball that was trapped by Luis Robert. Second and third. Then Rhys Hoskins put the ball in play. Good things happen.
So here's Hoskins. Chopper to third. And it's under the glove of the third baseman, Workman. And scoring from third is Contreras. As Hoskins puts the ball in play, and the Brewers get a run home. And it's 2-0 Crew.
In the bottom of the first inning, though, Tobias Myers would walk the first batter he faced, Josh Palacios, but ultimately escaped the inning without a run. In the second, he wasn't so lucky. He allowed the first four batters all to reach, including an RBI single from Lenin Sosa, a bases-loaded hit by pitch to Palacios, and now he's dealing with Luis Robert.
1-2, and a ground ball to short. Ortiz to second for one. Collins turned to first in time. 6-4-3 it goes. Myers able to minimize the damage, and the Brewers get out of it with the game still tied at 2.
Little did we know that would be the last pitch that Tobias Myers would throw tonight. More from Pat Murphy in just a moment. The Brewers took the lead back in the fourth inning thanks to a sacrifice fly from Vinny Capra doing the situational offense since Isaac Collins had to leave this game with an elbow contusion after getting hit by a pitch. Brewers up 3-2. Bullpen in control now. Tyler Alexander entered for the fourth. A run scored that was inherited from him in the fifth. That made it 3-3. Then in the sixth, things got stressful against Grant Anderson. All three of the batters he was scheduled to face reached. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. Nick Mears comes in. He gets Sosa to fly out on the first pitch. Then, 2 pitches later, defense helps him out.
Brings home the pitch, and it's a one-hopper to Capra. He'll flip to second for one. Ortiz back to first in time. A 4-6-3 double play, and Mears works his magic and gets the Brewers out of a jam in the bottom of the sixth. Kind of a soft liner right at Capra. He had to let it hit right in front of him. Got it on a short hop, and then started up the 4-6-3 double play. That was better than catching it for Vinny.
Problem is, it was still 3-3. Somebody had to blink first, so we go to the 8th inning now. A leadoff walk. All great rallies start with a leadoff walk. It's Contreras getting aboard. Sal Frelick with a perfect bunt single, then a poor throw from Sosa allowed Contreras to get to third. Men on the corners, nobody out. Rhys Hoskins turns in one of his best at-bats of the year, a 10-pitch walk. It loads the bases. It's left on left. Cam Boozer against Jake Bauers. Bauers 0 for 3 against lefties. Not anymore.
1-0. Bauers lines one into right center field. This is going to plug the gap. Roll all the way to the wall. Contreras is in. Rounding third is Frelick. He is in. Stopping at third is Hoskins. It's a 2-run double to right center for Jake Bauers. And the Brewers take a 5-3 lead here in the 8th.
They would add another run there in the 8th inning on a sac fly from Caleb Durbin. They would need it because the White Sox would respond with a run of their own in the bottom of the 8th. But then McGill comes on for the 9th inning. Strikes out Bobby Dahlbeck. Allows a bunt single to Michael Taylor as the tying run to come to the plate. Gets Robert to strike out on a fastball. He walked Andrew Benintendi on 4 pitches, but finally gets Andrew Vaughn.
Balls in 1 strike on Vaughn. McGill, the pitch. Ground ball to second base. Capra gets it on a couple of hops. Throws to first in time. And the Brewers have won the series in Chicago with a 6-4 victory here tonight at Rate Field.
Got the job done. They win the series. Go for the sweep tomorrow. Now you're all caught up on it. Let's go ahead and talk about this win for the Brewers. 6-4 the final. Former Brewers pitcher Jerry Augustine joins us next on 620 WTMJ.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Hey, Debbie. Southbound 794. There was just an accident. Right now, it looks like at least one lane is closed.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Highway 45 southbound. A tire came off of a car.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
Northbound 41 at Burleigh. 3 vehicle accident just happened in front of me.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
Get your rock solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers Brewers win 6-4. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Brewers Extra Innings brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Looking for a local banking partner that truly understands your business needs? Look no further than Fifth Third Bank. With a local team right here in Milwaukee, they know how to hit it out of the park every time. For 15 years, they've been serving our community with industry-specific expertise and local decision-making that helps your business thrive. Experience the unique commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Jerry Augustine is with us now, and, this was just an old-school backyard brawl because neither team had their best stuff. Obviously, the starters didn't have a factor into this decision either. But with the way that the Brewers kind of clawed their way without their best, if I would have told you before the game today that Jackson Chourio and Christian Yelich were going to combine 0 for 10 with 5 strikeouts and a double play, you would probably respond, how many did they lose by? And the fact is they won 6-4.
Yeah, you're right about a good old-fashioned game. I started writing down little things. There's always in a game, when you have a game like this, old-fashioned game, there's a lot of little things that you have to have during the game that makes the difference in the game. I've got 10 things. I'm not going to go through them, but there's 10 different little things that happened to this ball game to help this Brewer club win. Even from the beginning, the Brewers are very aggressive against Smith early in the game and were able to put a couple runs on the first inning. But there were a lot of little things as you go through this game that really played out big. The Contreras 2-out hit, and Ortiz hustling the second base in the fourth, and in the fifth inning, throwing out Benintendi at third base. Mears coming in, getting the double play. Those are just a couple of them. But as you go along through the game, there were a lot of little things that happened in tonight's ball game that really helped the Brewers win. And that goes by what you talk about, this team having the pride to play good, solid defense made a difference. And I'll tell you what, I thought it was a fun game to watch because there's so many little things, little intricacies in this game that really helped the Brewers win.
I want to react, though. One of the little things is really a big thing in today's game is that Tobias Myers only went 2 innings. And we'll play the audio from Pat Murphy here a little bit later on in the program. But the gist of it is that, we saw it over the weekend with Pat Murphy benching Sal Frelick and Caleb Durbin for their own mistakes. And the Brewers had a fresh bullpen to be able to do this with the off day from Monday and then being able to get through yesterday with just 3 relievers. But the point is, hey, doesn't matter what jersey's on the other side, you got to throw strikes. And so far, Tobias Myers has not been getting ahead, has not been throwing strikes, has not been the quality arm the Brewers had a season ago. Maybe he's just a slow starter, but your reaction to Tobias getting pulled after 2 innings and Pat Murphy willingly going to the bullpen to cover the last 7.
Yeah, I think Murphy, Murphy's taking them and saying, you look at the way Tobias threw the ball last year. Very seldom did he walk guys. He was always ahead of hitters, throwing the ball in the strike zone, had really good command of his fastball and his breaking ball. He hasn't had that so far out. It looks like, I don't know if he's overthrowing or trying to be too fine with pitches, but Murphy's right. I think what he's trying to do by having Myers go out, even though he was able to get out of that second inning, only limiting the damage to 2 runs, he wants to get out there and be aggressive the way he was last year. It seems like sometimes you get in situations, and as a pitcher, you go out and you try to be too fine. You try to throw too many pitches for strikes in too many good locations instead of just going out there and getting ahead of hitters and utilizing the pitches you had. And last year, he really pitched well because he pitched where? He pitched on the corners of the strike zone, used his breaking ball effectively, had a good changeup, but he always pitched ahead. And what we're seeing so far this year, he's all over the strike zone. He's pitching behind. So I think Murphy's just saying, you know what? 2 innings, I'm going to get him out of there and let him think about it a little bit. You let him have a good time, workout in the bullpen between the starts, and let's see what happens next time.
He only threw a first pitch strike to 6 out of 11 batters today. It was a problem last week against San Francisco, only 8 out of 20. He walked 3 batters. He hit a batter with the bases loaded. And, you sit here and you think, okay, game 1, it's rust. It's the Giants. They're a quality opponent to be only go 4 innings in that one. And then today, again, I said this yesterday too, but the truth of the matter is the White Sox are not a very good team, and they are in a rebuilding phase right now. And if you're going to be giving any big league team free passes, free opportunities, not being able to trust your stuff in the strike zone, you are going to have a short leash. And it kind of reminds me of when Tobias was thrust into action last season. Remember, I think of him starting that game against the Cubs a year ago, almost exactly to the day, May 4th. Remember, he walked, I think, 3 of the first 4 batters of the game, gave up another home run in the first. Yeah, he had 4 walks in the first inning. He looked like that guy tonight. He didn't look like the guy that was confident from June on the rest of the season. He had walks, but to the volume that he's having it right now was the pre-send-down, pre-month of June Tobias that we've seen right now. He'll figure it out, but it just feels like a guy that hurried up. I want to be ready. I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm ready. I want to prove that I'm healthy. And now he's here. Like, yeah, he's healthy. His velo is there, but the command is the last thing that is yet to arrive for him so far.
Well, he starts this year. He comes in. He had a great spring. He threw the ball very well. We talk about the command with all his pitches. Tobias was really throwing the ball well in spring training. Then he comes out with the injury. I think sometimes when you're a young pitcher, you want to come in, you want to do so well and have a great season like you did last year. You go out and you try to do too much. And I think what happened tonight was Murph saw what he had in San Francisco, how he wasn't pitching ahead, wasn't making those good pitches, sound pitches like he had last year. And this year coming out and being well, he had that strong bullpen so he could play matchup throughout the whole game. So what he's going to do is I'm going to have that short outing, even though he got out in that second inning, only giving up 2 runs. And I'm going to let him sit and think a little bit. And I think sometimes that's a really good thing to do with a pitcher is let him go out there, see what he did. Now he can go back and talk with Hookie and find out exactly what he was doing wrong, try to get more aggressive in the strike zone. And I think this may help him more than hurt him. It'll be interesting to see what he does next time out.
Yep. This text from Josh in Greenfield. Tonight's win feels important. Myers labored, so the bullpen picked him up. Some good defense and quality ABs got it done for the crew. Keep the rain away on getaway day. Yeah, might be dodging raindrops tomorrow. Let's talk a little bit about that offense coming up next. Brewers get the win 6-4. The phone number is 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters for your home or your business. They came out and did the exterior of our house. The team walked around the entire house with me, pointed out a couple spots that I needed some extra work done. I didn't even realize it. The team's at CertaPro. They've got your back. Call and ask about their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. It's CertaPro Painters, the best in the business. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. It's CertaPro Painters. Took care of me, they'll take care of you. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers win 6-4. This is another text similar to what we said earlier. This one from Doug. Cheerio and Yelich 0 for 10, but they still score 6. I like that. One more win makes it a 500 road trip, so no harm, no foul. Just win tomorrow. With Jerry Augustine, I'm Dom Cotroneo. Thanks for joining us here. The offense today, late arriving once again. It was like kind of early and late. But I'm sure a lot of those little things on that list of 10 that you got there, Augie, have to do with the offense. You mentioned the sac flies. You mentioned William going to the opposite field. I want to fast forward to the 8th inning, though, and walks always start off rallies, but a walk for William, then a savvy bunt from Sal. It put men on the corners, and it set the stage for Rhys Hoskins, who got behind 1-2 in the count, battles, 10-pitch battle, ultimately won by Rhys on a walk. That's when you knew, all right, chop this up. Brewers are going to score here, and it was Jake Bauers on deck. I mean, you could feel that inning brewing, and it was Bauers the one who ultimately came through.
Yeah, Contreras starting off with a walk, I think, was really important. I know anytime you get late in the ball game, you get that leadoff walk, you know something is going to happen. And then Frelick put down a great bunt. But I'll tell you what, it was a close play with Sosa coming in. I think if Sosa continues to come in, Contreras might have ran into him, and that might have been an interference call. It was good that when Sosa stopped and Contreras ran by, that stops any interference. That was a huge play in that inning. And then Hoskins, what can you say about that 10-pitch walk? It was huge, and it really did set the stage. And Bauers got a pitch on the inside part of the plate and was able to drive in a couple runs. And Durbin finished it off with a good deep fly ball and make it 6-3 at that time. So that inning really played real well. Manufacturing runs, I thought the Brewers did a great job tonight at manufacturing runs. A 2-out base hit by Contreras in the first. Ortiz with that base hit. A little error by Benintendi. Hustles a second, then scores on a sacrifice fly in the fourth, and then that eighth inning like you just described. Big things happen when you do the little things, and there were some little things that this team did offensively tonight that helped them score 6 runs.
And there were a couple little things at the top of this order today, too, right? Bryce Terang was originally in the starting lineup. He was scratched due to illness, so Isaac Collins starts the game. He leads off with a double and then ultimately scored on that Contreras single. But then Collins was hit by a pitch and ultimately was pulled from the game. So Capper comes in, who still is waiting on a hit. It's been a minute for him. He does deliver a sacrifice fly in his first at-bat. So he's now 0 for his last 30. You wait to see if Bryce is going to be okay for tomorrow. You also wait to see if Collins is going to be okay with his elbow contusion, because the top of this order, aside from that double in the sac fly, they did absolutely nothing tonight. We mentioned it a moment ago, but the top of it, just one hit amongst the 4 different players that hit in the top 3 in the order for the Crew when you include Capra and Collins. It was the bottom half of the order, and William Contreras extending his hitting streak to 9 games, on base 4 times today. We've talked about it many times. If this team's not going to hit homers, because they have a very low slugging percentage right now, they got to be able to put the ball in play, be a nuisance on the base pass, and find ways to draw walks and that sort of thing, and they kept that sort of scouting report up today. If you're not hitting homers, you got to do other things exceptionally, and the Brewers are still doing that.
Yeah, and one thing we've seen out of these top 5 or 6 guys, we've seen them lately that these guys have been able to go out and put the ball in play and have a big part of each and every game that this team plays. And today was one of those usual ones. Cheerio and Yelich, like you just said, were 0 for 10. But Contreras comes up big with the big 2-out hit, and then the walk, and then the hustling in, and then you got the Frelick bunt. It couldn't have been laid any better. He just made a perfect bunt, and then what can you say about Rhys Hoskins and that 10-pitch walk? These are just little things that this Brewer Ball Club did. And I thought it was kind of neat when in the beginning of the game, when you watched what we did in the first inning. In that first inning, Smith had thrown 15 pitches, and already 4 or 5 guys were at the plate. So they were aggressive early in the game, but then as the game went along, they became a little bit more patient, made the White Sox pitchers throw some more pitches, and it really paid off, because in that 8th inning, coming up with those big 3 runs played huge in this win.
The Brewers get a chance to go for a sweep tomorrow. The psyche of it is going to be big because, as we mentioned, it's a 5-5 road trip if they do so. I mean, is that something, Augie? Is that something or nothing where you have an opportunity to go 5-5 on a road trip in which, quite frankly, the Brewers didn't play up to snuff. Losing a series in St. Louis stings more than losing a series in San Francisco, but then you realize how they lost that series in San Francisco, that at the end of all of this, you still have a chance to come back home 2 games above 500 the same way that you left it.
I think when you look at it, it seems like they've been on the road for a month. It's unusual, but that's what it seems like. This road trip. But, you go to San Francisco and you don't play well. I mean, you just did not play well. You go in the first 2 games of St. Louis, and St. Louis took it to you. They won 2 ball games. They won with the big home run on Saturday, but then you got Quintana comes out there, pitches a great ball game. I think this is a ball club that learned something about themselves. They did not play well. They didn't play well defensively. At times, didn't pitch well. At times, the defense didn't play well. So it's every part of the this Brewers ball club. When you want to play well, you got to play well offensively, defensively, and you got to pitch. And all three spots at one time did not play well on this road trip. But to battle back like they've done the last two nights and the last day in St. Louis, having that opportunity to go 5-5 on this road trip, I think would be huge for this ball club. Not only to sweep the White Sox like they have, this would be the fourth time in the last 5 years, but to get them on a nice, firm winning streak where they got something positive going to win 4 in a row to go home when they play the Cubs.
Yeah, really big with the Cubs looming on the horizon. Keep you for one more segment here, Augie. We got to talk a little bullpen because there are some dogs in that bullpen right now that are pitching very well. Wasn't a perfect night by any means, but there are some performances need to point out there. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620 is the phone number right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Save big money now on pre-finished siding at Menards. Update and beautify your home with your choice of 13 timeless colors of pre-finished LP Smart Side engineered siding. It's durable and includes a Sherwin-Williams machine-applied paint warranty that means no painting for years to come. Save big money today on all LP Smart Side products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Why do we have so many successful long-term clients that started out with less than half of what they now invest in advertising? How are we able to keep our clients on the air 52 weeks a year with great weekly repetition, in some cases for over 15 years straight? Well, it's because our volume gets us access to rates that business owners can't get on their own. It's because repetition works, our buying style is efficient, and our messages sell. Go to Anderson-Smith.com because we help small business advertisers get better results. The arena we work in is where the rubber meets the road. If we don't get results, we're gone. Because with small business advertisers, any ad dollar spent counts. How many agencies can say they've kept small, locally owned businesses advertising 52 weeks a year for over a decade straight? How many have made shoestring budgets grow by over 1,000%? We can because we get results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com, hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grew your business.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care, and they do it every day with compassion and with empathy. They've got locations throughout Southeast Wisconsin. I've been to the locations. I love how they treat the people who live there. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They offer early memory loss classes. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. Kindness at the core. It's Azura Living. Check them out at AzuraLiving.com. It's Azura.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers bullpen earned the win today as they had to cover 7 innings of work behind Tobias Myers getting pulled early in this one. But nonetheless, the win goes to Jared Koenig. A save to McGill, only his 4th save opportunity of the year. It wasn't the prettiest of days from the bullpen. There were some moments I'm sure some guys want it back, like Grant Anderson not having his best day, but Nick Mears was extremely efficient. Koenig pitched well, had some bad luck behind him. Uribe made it stressful, but he got the job done. Overall here, Augie, in the month of April, now that it is finally concluded, the Brewers finished April, their bullpen, a 3.15 ERA with 100 innings and 104 strikeouts. With the Brewers having all of that inflated numbers those first 4 games of the year, for them to immediately show, hey, it's going to be fine. Let's let these guys get healthy. Let's get some more guys come back, and the bullpen is going to shape up the way it is supposed to. They are among the best bullpens in the National League, currently ranked 3rd in the month of April. And tonight was another example of why Pat Murphy's able to trust his bullpen. Tobias only goes 2. It's okay. I've got Tyler Alexander. I've got Jared Koenig, and et cetera, to be able to cover this.
Yeah, this is one night when Murph had his bullpen that he could go just about to anybody that he wanted to, and he did that. He did that with Alexander's. Alexander's that guy could come in and give you a multi innings. He did that exactly what they needed him to do tonight. Did a great job. But boy, when you look at the job. Grant Anderson has been really pretty good. Tonight he struggled a little bit, but Mears, Koenig, Uribe, and McGill have just been fantastic. And McGill not getting probably as much work as he wanted to. Tonight I thought threw the ball very well. Throwing that breaking ball for strike when he can throw his breaking ball for strikes. That makes that fastball just that much better. I thought he threw the ball really well tonight, and Uribe has just been fantastic. He's thrown that good slider. Not only does he have that great fastball and he can locate it, but he's got that slider. So those guys have all been throwing the ball very well. But I thought tonight the most impressive guy was Mears. Coming in the game in a situation where he was, got that first pitch for a line drive out, and then got the double play. That was key to the whole game right there. That was a tough situation to be in. He came in and did a good job. I thought that was a key to the whole game.
I mean, 3 pitches, 3 swings against Mears, right? And Sosa is such an aggressive hitter. You had to think he was going to be up there ambushing, and he certainly was. And then he gets Baldwin to bounce into the key double play. I mean, it's never easy to inherit 2 on and nobody out. And the game was tied at that point too. I mean, I understand why Uribe gets the winning pitcher because Mears exited the game with the game still tied. But if we could reassign things, I mean, that's a lot of things there for Nick Mears to get the job done. On the Uribe front, though, too, and we've said this a couple of times, I know he allowed an inherited runner to score from Jared Koenig, but I mean, that was all odd in that Benintendi literally just stuck his bat out against Koenig. He was totally beaten, just pokes one through the left side, and then a poor blocking effort by William Contreras allows a wild pitch to get him a second, and then a base hit into left center field. But I feel that maybe even a season ago in the beginning of the year, Augie, that this was an outing that would have gotten away from Uribe, where he gives up the lead, he gives up another run, or he walks a few more guys. The fact that he didn't walk anybody, he continued to compete with a pair of strikeouts. We see these small steps forward from Uribe, and you can see why so many folks with the Brewers are excited, where the mental starting to match up with the physical. That's kind of one of the last hurdles, right, for a leverage pitcher in the big leagues.
I agree with you. The one thing that's been so impressive with me, and I saw it in spring training, how confident he is with that breaking ball, that slider. You saw him today. He was 3-2. He threw a couple pitches 3-2 on the inside part of play with that. The guy swung and fouled them off. The ability to command that slider, not our cutter, if you want to call it that, not only on the inside part of play to a left-hander, but away, or not even on the inside part to a right-hander, but away, being able to command and really put that in good locations. I think that's been a pitcher. It's really made him. He's got so much confidence. I think that pitch gives him confidence that, you know what, I can throw that for a strike. That's going to make my fastball that much better. I tell you what, he's just been throwing the ball very good, and something the Brewers could really use as they go on through here. He's that guy that can be your setup man. He can be your closer. He's got that kind of quality stuff. But I agree with you. I think he has really come into his own. He's settled down. He looks more relaxed. He's slowing the game down, and he's throwing strikes with all his pitches.
He was great. Tyler Alexander was great today, too. I thought it was really important for him to come in and start pumping strikes and really kind of calm the waters in this one when there is a little bit of a culture shock when, oh, man, they're rocking the boat. They're taking Tobias out, and he was a steadying force to be able to get the Brewers into this victory. All right, well, we don't know if we're dodging raindrops or not tomorrow, Augie. We may or may not have an opportunity for a split. But nonetheless, the Brewers are going for a sweep and going for a split on this road trip of a 5-5 road trip before coming home for those Cubbies. And quite frankly, mojo matters. Get it done. Create your own energy. Create your own mojo, because there's not going to be, if you do play tomorrow, there's going to be nobody at that ballpark like we saw tonight. So put a chip on your shoulder. Get yourself angry in the morning. I don't know. Do whatever you need to do, because this is going to be a hard game to get up for if we do play it tomorrow.
I thought tonight was really a good game for the Brewers. They had to do a lot of little things, and they were able to rise to the occasion. We talked about how in the beginning of the game they were aggressive, and as they slowed it down, they made big plays. Hoskins with the 10-pitch bat, Frelick with the bunt, and Bauer with the big hit. And, those things play huge in the momentum of a team. And I thought offensively at the late part of the game they did a great job. The bullpen, again, came in and did a great job. This is the kind of momentum this team needs to get them on a little bit of a roll. To finish tomorrow with a 500 road trip record, the way they played early in this road trip, would be absolutely fantastic. Hopefully that comes. We skip the rain, we play the game, and play well.
It will be fun. Jerry Augustine here on WTMJ. Appreciate you as always, Augie.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Also want to thank one of our sponsors, Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Summer's coming fast. Are you ready? Get a new air conditioning system from Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical with $0 down, no payments, and no interest for 9 months. Save $1,500. Book your appointment today at SEIDER.com, cider.com, while the deal lasts. I got a few texts I want to catch up on. We're also going to hear from Pat Murphy in just a moment right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Hi, I'm Rose Gray with Fox World Travel, and I'm excited to share that our exclusive guided Alaska land and sea journeys are now available for 2026. We partner with Holland America Line to curate the best and most sought-after experiences to Alaska. We send hundreds of travelers from Wisconsin to Alaska every year, along with experienced Fox tour managers for peace of mind. Don't just picture Alaska, live it. We have limited spots, and these tours are booking fast. Visit Fox World Travel online or call 866 Go Fox Go.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
855-616-1620 is the phone number. 855-616-1620. This one from the 414. Remember last week you had mentioned that Collins potentially playing the infield. If Capper continues to struggle, do you think it's a real possibility we see Collins take over that role as he continues to deliver at the plate, or could we see a Monasterio call-up soon? I would direct you over to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Kurt Hogue actually just wrote a nice piece on this, talking to Vinny in the midst of this funk that he's in, now 0 for his last 30. But the middle infield depth of the Brewers right now specifically is arguably the thinnest position the Brewers have on their 40-man roster. You know, if you cut Vinny Capra and subject him to waivers, let's say by some stretch of the imagination, someone does take a waiver claim on him and he's no longer yours. You don't have any other middle infielders on your 40-man roster, especially in AAA, right? You would have Andrew Monasterio in the show, but you have nobody else if something goes wrong, and you would need to make another corresponding move to make that move. So the Brewers maintain depth as long as humanly possible. On the Collins front, the Brewers are more confident with him on the outfield. They've always seen him as in case of emergency infielder. That's where he has a lot of experience, though, to be fair. Today, I wonder if that contusion had more to do with him struggling to get the ball out of his mitt when he turned 2 there in the second inning, and he was eventually pulled from the game, too. But I think they like him more in the outfield right now, especially given the Brewers don't have Blake Perkins until May 23rd at the soonest, and Garrett Mitchell is probably not going to resume baseball activities for another couple of weeks as well. So they're going to give plenty of runway for the guys like Bauers or the guys like for Collins to get run in the corners right now in the outfield. This text from the 262. Should we be concerned about the slugging percentage being under 400 long term? I guess Reese hasn't gotten the home run swing going, and I think Contreras only has 5 extra base hits. I'm glad you brought up Contreras because that's the guy that I was going to talk about. The Brewers, have their 4-hitter in William Contreras. He is not a pull side fly ball type guy. He is not a guy that's going to hit a ton of home runs, and yet here he is batting 4th, and I know the Brewers have their reasons for having Rhys Hoskins hit 6th. They also want to avoid getting stagnant in the middle of their order, having 2 slower guys in the middle when they're a team built on so much speed. Sal Frelick has done a really solid job batting 5th. When you look at the last few seasons of slugging percentage for the Crew, a year ago they had a .403 slugging percentage, and yet 177 home runs, right? If you can just get it to around 400, even above 390, I think the Brewers' slugging is going to be just fine. Because as I remind folks all the time, what do you think? Gut reaction. What do you think is league average for slugging percentage so far this season? Just take a moment, right? What do you think league average is? It's 392. So it's still under 400. So if you can be a league average slugging percentage team, mind you, we're just now turning to May. It has felt like winter the entire month of April. You played in San Francisco. You played in cold Colorado. You have played in spots where the ball hasn't been flying yet. Granted, it flew in altitude in Colorado, but you got to hope when the roof starts getting open at home, the weather gets finally into the 70s and 80s, the ball's going to start flying, and that slugging percentage will naturally rise for the Crew. This text from Mike in Colorado, if I recall correctly, Myers had an oblique strain. Yes, that is correct. If so, those muscles are particularly hard to repair and then condition physically. While it might be healed, Myers might be struggling with the mental part of the recovery that could be bothering his focus. Perhaps he just doesn't trust his mechanics. Myers insisted, even when the injury first happened, he was worried it was a cramp in the very beginning. He did go to an MRI. They called it a low grade 1 strain. And given how much depth the Brewers need from their starting rotation, they took it slow with Tobias. That being said, the velo is there. The mechanics aren't quite right. And another thing to remember about Tobias, he was optioned last season. He was sent back down twice to get right, to see, hey, we need to see more from you, see more from you. I'm not saying they're definitely going to option Tobias, but if the performances aren't there like you hope for Tobias, for the next 3 starts or so, you've got Brandon Woodruff due to return no earlier than May 11th, most likely, because that's when his 30 days are up for his rehab assignment. We keep hearing about Aaron Savali facing hitters. We keep hearing about Aaron Ashby facing hitters. We keep hearing about DL Hall facing hitters. And quite frankly, Logan Henderson continues to pitch well in AAA. How are you going to turn down Chad Patrick starts? He gets the ball tomorrow. The Brewers all of a sudden go from not having enough pitchers to maybe having too many, and there's going to be some hard decisions on, and it's going to come down to performances from the Brewers when those decisions come along. So keep that in mind moving forward for the Crew. Up next, we'll hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, but first, our player of the game poll has concluded. It goes to Jake Bauers for his go-ahead double there in the 8th inning. He had a solid day at the plate, getting on base a couple of times. This is the player of the game brought to you by Surfside, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka paired perfectly with the day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Let's hear from Murph next on 620 WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, no appraisal required. That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
What would your community be like without UW-Madison? The UW is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research. UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just in Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW5 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in the Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW5, paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to adventknows.com.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Elsewhere in the Central tonight, the Cardinals sweep a split doubleheader against the Reds, outscoring them 15-1. It was 6-0 in Game 1, 9-1 in Game 2. So now the Reds fall to 16-15, same record as the Brewers. Cardinals are still 3 games under 500. The Cubs lost to the Pirates today, 4-3, on a wacky double up the middle that kicked off of Dansby Swanson to give the Pirates the lead, 4-3. So that is a rubber match tomorrow. And if I'm not mistaken, Paul Skeens gets the ball tomorrow morning at 11:35 Central Time, and that is indeed the case. Colin Ray against Paul Skeens. So that should be interesting at PNC Park tomorrow morning. Other games, everyone else is done for the day. A lot of day games on this one as well. In the AL Central, the Guardians beat the Twins again, 4-2, the final today. Also, the Tigers and the Astros, that one went to Detroit, 7-4. Detroit's 19-12. That's a series win that's gonna age very well for the Brewers moving forward. So keep that one in mind for them. Also, the Padres, they win another sweep at home. They beat the Giants 5-3. That was a good one for them. And the Orioles, they take the series from the Yankees, 5-4. They get themselves off the deck as well. All right, let's hear from the manager, Pat Murphy. He was brutally honest about Tobias Myers today. What went right, what went wrong, and the offense having just enough at the very end.
Gill looked great. Koenig did a great job. Mears. So that was good. Bullpen was good. There were some great offensive plays in that one inning. Contreras really had 5 quality at-bats. Frelick's double, then bunt for a hit. Was right in the thick of, us scoring runs. And Hoskins' key walk. He's had 2 key walks today, but, a key walk was big. And, of course, Bauers' hit was huge. Durbin had a nice game, too. Quietly had a nice game. Big sac fly, big base hit, 2 RBIs, I think. Plenty of good performances.
Any update on Isaac Collins?
Yeah, it's a contusion. The X-rays were negative. He's going to be sore. His first game at second base in a while, so that's forced because of Turang's illness. So, will Turang be back tomorrow? You just never can tell.
Tobias, 2 innings is still pretty short for a guy that's healthy. He's healthy, right?
It's healthy, yeah.
2 innings is still short. I mean, for a healthy guy, was it a difficult call, all things considered, or did you feel like you had to make that move with the rest of them?
Well, it's also sending a message to Tobias. You don't walk the leadoff hitter. You don't be able to come out in the game with your changeup already ready. So it was more of a message to Tobias than it was anything else. Like, I knew we had a full bullpen, but still, this is how we're going to do it, man. You're not going to be a starting pitcher on this team with all the injuries we've had and all that stuff, that we're not just going to sit there and say, oh, well, we got to get pitches out of you. You're going to, and the way he pitched last game was kind of similar. It was just okay. Bob and weave, you got to come in with a little better intent from pitch 1. And I love the kid. I mean, understand, I love this kid, one of my favorite kids. But it's
Murph to not only have this many guys coming out of the pen in one night, but to have a lot of them coming in mid-inning with guys on base and getting out of that, does that stand out extra to you on a night like tonight?
Yeah. Every call I made was great. That's a joke. Please refer to that. If anybody writes that, I was joking. Okay. It might be a check too, but.
Nick Mears, especially, he was just pitches to get out of
Yeah. Fly ball to center and ground. Or was it? What was it? Yeah, I mean, they all did a nice job coming in. Cold night, and yeah, it's a tougher environment than you think to play in, you know, for all the reasons you guys can see. So, yeah, proud of them, especially when we got guys not swinging it as well. Churio hasn't had a good 2 games, and, you know, Yelly obviously hasn't had his best stuff. Yeah, guys go through that. You know, it's good to see Contreras really kind of locking in. Sal, every big game, Sal figures out a way to help us. You know, Hoskins is having great at-bats, you know. Bauers again with another clutch hit. We feel like this happened a lot last year. Nobody's surprised. Left on left.
So. How difficult is that at-bat for Bauers? He hasn't faced lefties all this year coming in. Having to deliver this.
Yeah, it was bring Daz Cameron to face the righty or let Bauers face the lefty there. And I thought for sure that they, you know, they'd go right at Bauers, and they did. And he's got a pretty good ball strike, so yeah, I thought it was the better matchup.
Me too there, Murph. Oof, I'm yawning over here, man. That was a weird game. I got a lot of traffic on my scorecard here I'm looking at. I mean, I've got errors, I got advancements, I got throwouts on the bases, I got 2-strike hitting. I got it all, man. I got a full bullpen sheet too, man, because I've only got 3, 4, 5 spots for a bullpen on any given game, and the Brewers used 6 different relievers to get through their final 7 innings today. Nonetheless, it's a victory, and we do not complain about wins in this house. So they go for a sweep tomorrow. I was just looking at the forecast once again. Doesn't look great. But the moment you let your guard down, the moment you say, oh, they're not going to play tomorrow, is the moment you're going to play. That's the minor league rule 101, right? Or then the moment, oh, we really want to get this game in, you know, this guy really needs to throw, it's going to rain that day, right? That's how it always worked in the minor leagues. Anyway, let's see what kind of what humor Mother Nature has in store. Because this is an interleague game tomorrow, it would have to be made up with a mutual off day, given they don't face each other again. Maybe I was just looking ahead on the schedule. Could there be a day that works out for both? Well, the White Sox are, you know, I looked at June 16th if they don't get it in for some reason, because the Brewers will be headed to the Cubs that week, and then the White Sox will be at home, so they have a mutual off day on that 16th. That could work out pretty well for both parties, but you never know. There's always things at play that you just never know about. Let's hope we don't have to worry about it. Give you a little programming update, preview tomorrow's game, and say goodnight after this on 620 WTMJ.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Balaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Save big money on your next outdoor project at Menards. Easily transport mulch, stone, and other materials with the Masterforce heavy-duty steel wheelbarrow. Maneuver over any terrain with a 16-inch tire that never goes flat. Save big money on this and all other Masterforce tools exclusively at Menards. Visit us in-store and at menards.com and see all the great deals going on now in our weekly flyer.
Save big money at Menards.
For those with a warm weather passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Okay, if we play ball tomorrow, it'll be at 1:10 from the south side at Rate Field. Dumb name. I get it. That's the company's name now. Anyway, coverage would begin at 12:35 if we play ball tomorrow. 1:10 first pitch. No post-game show, but we do have Brewers Weekly, rain or shine, tomorrow. We do have Brewers Weekly tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So that can serve as our de facto post-game show tomorrow night, or it can be a little bit of a hangout, and we talk a little Brew Crew heading into the month of May. Also have a scheduled guest of manager of the Carolina Mudcats, Nick Stanley, joining us on the program tomorrow, and that's relevant because those Carolina Mudcats, how about them? Jesus Made, walk-off base hit today to defeat Myrtle Beach, if I'm not mistaken. The 17-year-old, soon to be 18 this month, continues to shine there in low A. Looking at his numbers, Jesus Made he went 2 for 5 today with the game-winning RBI, of course. But now on the season, again, as a 17-year-old in his first time stateside, he has got a 949 OPS. He's got 3 homers, 3 doubles, 15 strikeouts, 9 walks in 81 plate appearances, an on-base of 420, again, as a 17-year-old. He will turn 18 in a week, so we can no longer put that. But don't lose sight of Luis Pena either. We'll talk about all these guys coming up tomorrow with Nick Stanley. So looking forward to it. Josh Adamszewski, he's off to a great start. Holy cow, he's hitting 350? Jeez, it's been a minute since I've looked at them. The Brewers farm is in good hands right now. Really, really good hands. So we'll catch up about those Carolina Mudcats and their last season in Zebulon. I mean, if you're in the Carolinas, Five County Stadium, I spent time there when I was in the Carolina League. They're getting ready to move to Wilson next year out in the eastern part of the state. I spent a lot of time in eastern North Carolina. I was in Kinston. Shout out to the Down East Wood Ducks and K-Town, former affiliates of the Cleveland Indians back in the day, where CC Sabathia was an affiliate once upon a time. We were talking about it the other day that is going to be the last Hall of Famer likely to ever play in Kinston, at least as a home team, that is, because the team that I had in 2017 and 2018, there are not going to be any Hall of Famers coming out of those teams from the Rangers farm system while they're in the rebuilding mode, getting ready for their World Series in 2023. So again, we're on the air tomorrow, 8 o'clock, rain or shine for Brewers Weekly. It could be a post-game show. It could be just a magazine show. Then, over the weekend, get ready for the Cubs. It is a 7:10 first pitch on Friday night. I'll be on the air at 6 o'clock with Brewers warm-up. 6:10 on Saturday, same deal, 5 o'clock for Brewers warm-up. And then 1:10 on Sunday, noon for Brewers warm-up. And then back to the weeknight first pitches, 6:40 on Monday and Tuesday night against the Houston Astros. And then a noon first pitch on Wednesday against those Stros, 12:10, I should say. And then another off day for the Brewers as they continue to move forward with the schedule. And they go back on the road. It feels like they've been on the road a ton, but they'll get, after tomorrow, 6 games at home, 6 games on the road, and then come right back home for another quick trip back to the good land. As for the Brewers and standings and getting through the month of April after having to explain to everybody, no, 0-4, it's just temporary, it's no big deal. If you got friends who are locked in on the Green Bay Packers and locked in on the NFL draft up north there, or you're locked in on the Bucks and, man, you're disappointed once again, well, let me tell you what. It's time for the Brewers to take center stage because this is a great time to get your friends back into baseball with the Cubs coming to town this weekend. We all know the jokes. We all know what's going to happen. It's going to be a live wire crowd. Exactly what the Brewers want to see after what they've been dealing with the White Sox this week. And a reminder, it ends tomorrow. They've got a $5 flash sale going on for a few games in the month of May, like when the Orioles come to town, when the Red Sox come to town. $5 tickets, $15 if you want to upgrade it to the field level. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Get on there now. It ends tomorrow. You got to do it. The flash sale is on Brewers.com. We are on the air at 12:35. We're playing ball tomorrow. Hopefully we see you then. It'll be Lane Grindle and Josh Maurer on the call from the South Side. Our producer tonight has been Matt Yazel. I am Dom Cotroneo. Until next time, keep on swinging.
Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field.